Hello, welcome to another video. Today we'll be going over how to make a custom gun game framework from the ground up. We'll be coding this all ourselves in Lua. This is designed for beginners and can help get you from little to no experience in Lua to the point where you can code almost anything except for physics in Lua. We won't be going over vector math as that's a bit too complex, but everything else we'll be going over. To start off, create a new project and let's create a new empty project. Let's name it Gun Game Framework Tutorial. Okay. Excuse me for a second. And here is a base plate. So first, let's get the few weapons that we want in. So we might want a AR. So let's have this is one of the weapons, and let's have pistol and a shotgun. Base first weapons. What we're gonna do first is gonna make a thing that cycles 3 different weapons every time a player gets a kill, and adds a kill count to the player. Now, so what we're gonna do is create a new script, and this would be, how about let's name it Gun Laser. And I'd like to create another script here, and make this the weapon table. There'll be more fits in this one script, but I wanted to split this into 2 scripts so we can talk about how to do global variables. So what we're going to do here is add custom property. Let's make this weapon 1, weapon 2, and weapon 3. This is going to allow us to create a table of all the weapons, all the equipment in here, and then we put into global tables so they can be randomly selected for the gun game framework to pick for next player's gun and to get a kill. Okay, so let's get rid of all of these, and let's come to the script and move this over to here so you can see. Let me get rid of all these other scripts I've opened here. I was working on Tycoon version 2, which is going to commit content soon. Now, what we're going to do is local equipments equals script get custom properties, and then _g dot weapons equals this. This declares a new empty table, and then we can create new tables. And this part here _g allows it to be accessed by all the scripts in the same context, such as other server scripts or other kind of scripts. This can be server scripts, so we're able to access by other server scripts. Now, what we're going to do is for this part here is the key. We're not going to be using the key of the index of the table or the thing. So we're leaving that empty, and then let's do weapon in pairs equipments. Do this cycles through all the everything in this table from here, because this gets an array. So it gets an array from all the properties, and then it gets a table out of them. It cycles through all of these, and from here we can loop through all of them. And what we can do is we can have local counter equals 1, and then we can do _g dot weapons. Then we do the index counter. This would be the index it goes into. So it starts off with 1, then we go 2, 3, 4. Weapon equals weapon. This creates a table with all the different weapons. It's a global thing that can be accessed from other scripts, assuming they're in the same context. Now what we want to do is we want to have counter equals counter plus 1. This makes the counter go up by 1, so that next time, first time it's 1, then it's 2, then it's 3, and then it's 4. It keeps going up. And another thing is that you can change. So if you declare a local variable in here, it cannot be accessed from outside of here. But if you create a local variable here, then it can be accessed from inside of here. And if we change it in here, the new update value you're going to hear. It's a quick thing you might want to know. And then after that, we have this script in here. Now what we're going to do is grab the kill cycle script, weapons gun replacer, that's what I named it, and let's open up the core API because I want to talk about this in a second. You put it up. So if we go to the docs.core games, this way first thing we see in docs core games. If you go to this link, docs.coregames.com, when you go here, it's core API, and you go to API overview. This gives you a list of all the commands here. So let's go to the player part of the API. What we can do here is have all the events. So let's do this. We also have a example here. We can look at if you want an example of how to use this event. Okay, doesn't have an example. Okay, that's the problem. Anyways, so what we can do is so for 1 second, I'll get the player joined so we can set up the event listeners. So we can this is script generator. You can generate scripts from here, and gives you a few basic things. For example, you can get player joined events from here. Let's go back to here, and then we don't need player left, so we can just go to these two. If you look up an event and still have a function here, this is the name of the function that it connects to. So when this event fires off, it fires this function. And this player is the information that's passed through the event. So what we can do here is let's create this, and then player dot event connect, and then player died. Now what we can do here is we can do function player died, and then so let's put it as DMZ, and declares a variable by name of DMZ, and the value is equal to what's passed through the event. And let's put this to DMZ too. And then let's do local killer equals DMZ dot source player. And then from here we can do killer. Let's use resources for this. It's not the most efficient way of doing this. I'm pretty sure core already tracks code automatically, but this is just to show you how to use resources. Let's add play resource kills. Let's add it by 1. Play resources can be accessed from both server and client, but can only be changed on the server. That's another quick thing. So, and then let's do equip. Shuffle there. Let's create a new function named shuffle. That's actually called by this thing. And it's passing through the needs to be killer, sorry. And then we'll do function shuffle, and then we would have player here. It's passed through as killer, but we're receiving it under the variable name of player. Even though this is also using player variable, it's not actually going to be receiving it here because it's inside the function, so software conflict will be solved, so don't worry about that. So I'm going to end here. And then we would have, let's see, so local weapons equals _g dot, let's see what we named it here. We named it weapons. Okay, weapons. Once again, it's probably better to combine these two scripts into one, but I'm doing this for example to show you how to use global variables, as you may or may not need to use these in your future time coding in core and possibly other platforms. So now we have this done, we can do local random equals math.random, let's say 1, number weapons. This gets in amount of entries in the weapons table. This is so we can see how many entries are in there, and we can pick a random number from 1 to the amount of entries in there. So it'd be like 3, 5, no matter what, it will just pick a random weapon from there. And then what we can do here is we can do local chosen weapon equals weapons of random, and gets the index of random. So random is will be defined as a number, for example, integer, and then gets the entry for that. This gets the entry for that index. Let's say this is 2. You'll get the second weapon that's put into here, which would be the pistol. Correct. I think this actually comes as an array, so it won't be ordered. But I would pick the second weapon that's put into here, because I'm pretty sure this comes as an array. Let me check here. If we go to core object and go to get custom properties, give me a second to find it. It seems that it returns table. Okay, so it actually returns it ordered. Let's spell this correctly through. This properties, not properties. Okay, this actually returns a table, so it will be ordered. Now, let's do print chosen weapon. Now, how about we drop in a weapon here? Let's drop in a, so just so we can pick up people here, and let's drag in team settings here. This is to free for all. Now, if we click multiple preview, this allows us to spawn in multiple players that we can play as. We'll click this. Let me drag these over, so it pops up different windows that we can actually play on. You can see here. Now I can come over here. Let me go to my event log here so we can see what's going on. Let me open this back up. As you can see, the weapon it picked was advanced assault rifle. Let me just move this. As you can see, it's actually working now. So now all we have to do is spawn the weapon and equip it with the player while equipping the player's old weapon. It may sound complex, but it's actually pretty easy. You take a few lines. So, local spawn weapon equals world dot spawn asset chosen weapon. Pretty easy. That spawns the asset. Now what we want to do is for. We don't need the index, so we leave that out. And then v or value. Actually, no, let's do equip item in pairs pair get equipment. Once again, this is a function, so I have to put these two parentheses here to set this function. Do, let's put it in here to close this. And then if equip item dot socket, this is socket that the equipment is attached to. So you can see here the socket is right top. Let's pick that. That'll be the socket for weapons. If you have something else, feel free to change that. If you check and see if something you can do, use 2 equals signs instead of 1, as that's just how Lua works. We do that, and then we do in equipped item destroy. Now let's try testing this out again. Another thing I do want to show after test this out is, if in case you're wondering how I have Visual Studio Code running, it's by you have a way to set up custom. You see, my weapon is no longer equipped in the new ones here. Now we have to just handle equipping that. So editor, and you have external script editors here, so you can come here and basically see here. If you can go to your app data where you have your stored here, and you can just select your external script editor here, in case you don't use the built-in one. Built-in one isn't really that good, to be honest. So now if we come back to our let's do spawned weapon. Oops. Spawned weapon equip player. Now it will all be working. Hopefully, let's make sure this all works. After this, we'll have a few more things we have to do and be done. You see, we have this player. Now we have a pistol. Pretty fun, right? So now let's get working with game state, track and player kills, and finishing round end once the player has reached let's say 10 kills. So what we want to do first, actually, we'll drag in how about, so if you go here, basic game state, we have round kill limit. Let's set this to 5. This is when built-in functions. We're gonna get basic game state manager. Let me just go back to here, basic game state. We will get, this is important to this. You probably want to record yourself. This is a bit more advanced. So that's something I really want to do on a beginner's tutorial. And keep this here, and game state geometry. Let's drag in a game state display as well. Okay. And that's all we would need. Now, how about lobby start, we set KD and respawn players. We need those two as well. Next, let's modify this script a little bit too. So if you come here, player and pairs, we can also do, let's actually just copy paste this and paste into here. Now, when the round starts, it will give everyone a random weapon. And then also let's do paired zone. Let's also paste this into here too. So now we paired zone to get a random weapon, and this starts out here. I have a random weapon now. This is every time we get a different weapon from the 3 weapons we've chosen. So after I have that out of the way, let's get on to making it so that, let's try this out. Lobby required players. No, we don't do that. Let's come into here. So the main purpose of the script is just to make we just did actually need respawn settings in here, don't we, as well? Respawn settings. It's just thing they can code yourself. I mean, I guess you kind of can, but it wouldn't be too easy. I mean, I think it might be a little bit easy. Let's do spawn, random spawn point. Let's say respawn to 1. And the point of this could modifying it, obviously respawn players, and we're saying we have non-amount stars. If I was setting, like, let's say you want the 5th kill to be a golden knife, then that way player doesn't start with the golden knife next time. The problem is that we're not actually going to balance state. That's a problem. So what we need is lobby required players. Here we go. Let's set this required players to 2 and countdown time to 1. And since it's still working, let's also get a victory announcement message back in too. A few other small things. They'll all be kind of simple to code, but I don't really want to go over this video kind of short. They'll have very basic stuff that we're going to be going over later on in the video, or stuff such as the showing how many kills each player has. There's a kill feed already, I think. Perhaps let's drag that in too. Kill feed. But now, let's make a display showing how much each player has. So what we're going to do is we're going to get UI, text, box, and we're going to drag this into here. If we put this top left, let's put this here. Let's create a easy that, and also drag this into here too. We want these to be in a panel together. I'm not a good UI designer, so don't criticize my UI design, please. I'm very bad at this. This is to demonstrate how you would make a procedural thing that basically shows all the, like this here. size about here. And then UI image can be here. So let's just have clip children enabled. And then UI image, let's have this as kind of grayish. This controls gray, and let's make it a little bit like it too. See, you get this bit nice looking. Let's set this here. Let's say main 5. See, let me make this a bit larger, just so that I can have more space to display the amount. In case someone has a long name, let's also want to make sure it's accessible for people with long names, so actually shows that they have stuff going on. Now let's see how it looks in full screen. Okay, it's readable. Let's have this. And player names come up to 32 characters, so this could be. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 characters, right? Yep, let's do this. See. 3 times. Okay. I doubt anyone's gonna have to know my name, so it's not anything to worry about too much. Now, let's rename this to name box. And also what I do want to do, perhaps, is actually make this a bit bigger as well. The bottom side, perhaps, because I do want to actually show how to do stuff such as showing a player's profile picture too. May seem complex, but it's actually very easy. So that's actually, I think just a flat background for this would be just fine. So let's move this down and let's add another UI image. So let's just copy paste this one. Let's make it smaller. Here. So we can show the player's profile picture. As I feel that'd be not super necessary, but it might be a nice little touch to kind of this. I'm gonna make this longer and this also longer, and move this name box over to here while moving this down to here. Let's set the color to white, and this pretty white, and this here. Let's scale this up a little bit. Let's scale this down. Okay. Once again, I'm not really good at UI design, but this is a tutorial anyways, so it's here. Now what we want to do is we want to create a context, new client context in this. And then what we want to do is we want to see how much we have to move it down for each one. So this is currently at, let's say put it 0, so 20, and then let's say duplicate it, take this, and then if we move it down to here, let's see where we want it, it would be 80 down. So let's make it so everyone goes 80 down. Okay, keep that number in your head as we'll be going over that in a minute. What I want to do is create a new script. This would be a show kill mount. Okay, this script isn't going to be super optimized. It's probably a bit better way to do this. Anyway, I'm doing this, but this is once again it's a quick tutorial showing you how to do these skills. Okay, let's actually put it here. Add custom property cards of reference, and this would be the panel parent. Okay, move this down here, and let's create a new folder containing these. I'll also create a new template from this. This would be base. Actually, just placeholder. Let's just call that for now. Let's see. We name this object to profile box. and update complete. So now that we have that out of the way, and let's set this to here. Remember the numbers 20 and 80. So let's do a function pick. Yes, in here, and let's actually do a task dot rate 0. Often, do you have any can show updates as a short timer typing down? Actually, never mind. That's just something right here. Task dot rate 1. So updates every second. So now we have for player in pairs thing dot hit players do, and so this is gonna loop through all the players in the game every second, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna spawn asset for the player in this name. So row dot spawn asset. Let's actually do this. So what we're gonna have here is we have this, and then we have my templates placeholder, and oops. So reference we're gonna have this placeholder. Let's copy these and we come back to our script. We'll do this. Yeah, let's change this to just panel parent and placeholder. And then row.spawn asset placeholder. And then also we can specify table parameters. So this is what asset that spawns. If you go to row.spawn asset API here, or row API, and then we go to spawn asset. So we have blue namespace, and then row.spawn asset is here. So I have table parameters here. Then you can have transform the parent, all kinds of stuff here. Just want to this or the extra stuff you can put in there too. Let's do parent equals panel parent. And that's great. Actually, let's do for k. Let's make it k here. So remember, since that, and then the local spawn panel equals that. What we're gonna do here is we have spawned. One second. Spawn panel dot by equals. So we want to get our spawn panel back. Placeholder is code here. As you can see, our x should be 34. Let's see. Spawn dot x equals 35, just to make it easier. And then let's do 20 plus 80 times k minus 1. It will start with k not equal to 1, so we want this to be here. Let's make this here. It's very may seem a bit complex, like how to come up with this, but really once you get, if you're not really too good with math, this may seem a bit complex. It's very basic. Give me so. Also, what we're gonna do is for let's see now. Let's just put this here, child in pairs. No, parent and children. So if you get children, API here, it's a core object API and get children. So what this does is that it gets all the hierarchy children of the object, returns a table containing all the children's objects. Now, a child will be something, as you can see, this placeholder object is a child for this new folder. It's spawning all of these placeholders onto this folder. As you can see, the parent is a panel parent, means children here. And this is not the most efficient way. Most efficient way would actually be to update it as opposed to destroying it. But once again, we're not talking about efficiency or actual best way to do stuff. Instead, we're learning new methods here and going over the helping you learn. Once you get to a bit more advanced stage, we'll get to the point where you can piece together all the things learned here and learned other places to make much more efficient and better methods of doing these kinds of things. So, this should be working now. I mean, it doesn't actually show how many kills player has. If we go to here and turn on 2 players, let's get rid of this. Actually, we don't need a script to take care of that, hopefully. Let's drag this over. Okay. You still got an error. So command A. Alright, I forgot to do here. Oops, sorry. Small mistake. These back over here. As you can see, we have 2 panels now for 2 players. Of course, this actually show the amount of players in there, so now, so amount of players player has name. So what we're gonna do is back to here. If you see here, we have the name box is called name box. Let's copy that. Now what we're gonna do, so you have the find chart by name function here. This finds the chart by name, whose name matches prime name first immediate. This means the first one in the hierarchy that's found. There's more below it, doesn't count for it, but still best to actually use specific names. You could also use custom properties, but we learned about custom properties like a few minutes ago, so instead we learned about this. So what we're gonna do is logo name box equals spawn panel. Oops. Find child by name box, and then name box dot text equals string dot format. This is the other thing we're learning about here. So string dot format allows you to format a string combining variables, integers, and basically anything you want with the text or how you want. So let's do player dot name, and let's put this here to signalize a space, and let's put another space here, so this can put empty string, or not empty string, so put string with a space here. Let's go to the next thing we want to put to be player dot heroes. Now let's see how well this works out. Script updated, okay, that's good. And I hope this works first time. You might get an error, but that's common. If you ever get an error, don't let it get you down. You can always keep working on it. So as you can see, it's working. It shows we have 0 kills, so let's shoot this person. We now have 1 kill. 2 kills. The issue is say we're on this count, and we kill. It actually shows the person that has most kills for ours, but it doesn't show it for the other person. It doesn't actually, as you can see, for this screen, it doesn't actually show it. This is a small problem. How would we go over this? Well, what we could do is we could have it so we could actually, I will go over that later. Possibly if once we finish all the other things, there's still enough time left in the video. It's really about 36 minutes in. We'll actually go over how to make that a bit better, but for now, let's keep it at this. It would be a bit complex to make it that, and I'm not sure if that's something we want to put in a beginner's / intermediate tutorial. Now, let's do, so here we have profile box. So let's come here, logo profile box equals spawn panel, find chart the name, and it would be profile box. Did I capitalize the second one? Yep, I did. Then we have profile box. Let's go to the image API here. So this, we have UI image here. We have set image and get image. And you can also set image to player. This sets the player's profile picture and sets it as image. This is the function we're using here. But there's all kinds of a few other functions here, and goes for all the other UI, you see UI text, that kind of stuff. And while we're at it, actually I'll do that in a second after we finish this. Set image player. The next thing I do want to do is we'll make it so if it's your player, then the text shows up green. It would also be a small, easy thing to do, but it's something that's kind of impactful. As you can see, the basic testing box does not have a profile image, so it just shows the default image. That's the default profile picture if a person hasn't set an image. If we go to my normal preview mode, I'm pretty sure it does it. As you see here, it actually shows my actual profile image. I'm not a bot. But if a normal player signs with a new core account and haven't set up a profile image, the one on the bots is the default profile image. Now let's do if player equals game.get local player. What game.get local player does is it returns, it can be used in client context, and returns the player that's actually playing right now. So as you see, this is a client context, a client script. Now, if you go here, in game.get local player, returns local player. So, say I'm playing, yeah, and then I'm the local player for me, and everyone else is their own local player. It's a bit hard to explain. It should be an easy concept though to grasp. And then let's go to the text box. UI text box API. So we have UI text box here, right text. We can do set color. So don't need to copy that, and then let's do name box dot color set color, and let's do color dot new. So we can use the RGBA and the RGB plus I guess A if you want to do that too, but we won't be doing that. So RGB stands for the amount of red, the amount of RGB, amount of green, the amount of blue, an object, and the color. So let's do 0, 255, just give us green, no red, and no blue. Now as we can see, if you come here, oops, okay then, oops. Now we see our name is green. And then let's do an else. So this is if this is not true. Then let's do name box set color. Copy this. Maybe in this color to 55 and 0. Now if we hop into multiplayer preview mode and drag this over from here and this from here to here, you'll see that our name shows up as green, but the enemy name shows up as brown, in red. See, the issue with the approach we're using here by spawning despawning is that it does cause this weird flickering. Like I said, there's one better approach by actually just spawning despawning. I mean, it's not when player join, player leaving, just updating it, but that's a bit harder to do. Although, like I said, I may go back to things after this time video. So, now let's make it so that if the player gets 5 kills, then they get the golden knife. Let's get knife. Okay, I guess we'll just use this as golden knife. So, what we can do here is we have the golden placer. And then let's do if player get resource kills. This is if the player has this CB get kills. Player resource kills equals. This gets the amount of that here. This is set to the player. You see here we set to 1. But actually it adds resource 1. 4, then it says to one number lower than your kill limit. Then spawn open equals build dot spawn asset. And let me show how to use mirrors quickly too. I don't recommend using too much, but they're good if you're doing quick testing. So what we're gonna do is for a template you want, let's say my template's advanced knife, do is right click and copy mirror. Then we come back to here and let's paste this into here. And let's do spawn weapon destroy first before we put that, just so we get rid of the old one. Let's see, make sure there's no errors. See, now we have a knife. We'll be back in a few minutes. Let's have a basic map created for this. See ya. So I'm back, and then after a few minutes, this is quick map. I know it's nothing special, but it can quickly just demonstrate how it's a game you can get quite quickly with this. Because how you can basically get a game with this. It's like I said, it's a quick map in 5 minutes. Not much. Even though I'm not really pushing. I'm a coder, not a modeler or level designer. So, anyways, let's see how this game works if we have multiple stuff here. So, next we'll move this spawn point up. And another quick shortcut you may not have known is that if you press 0, you can put spawn points. Let's see, press 0, have a spawn point there. They do spawn a bit low, which I find a bit annoying, but it's not too big of an issue. Spawn point here, 1 here, and 1 up here. And I'm stopping to multiply preview. And let's see how well this works. And put this full screen. Okay, where this one's right here. Mount, and let's see where this other person is. Person's now. And I hope this video did help you learn how to do Lua import, and hope you get better at it. It's been a great time making this video, and I hope you appreciate this video. So if you did enjoy this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. You don't have to, it just helps out a little bit, and hopes other people reach my channel so that they can also be helped out and get better at these skills and get better at learning. It's my goal to help you guys learn or possibilities. So as you can see, this can already basically make a pretty good game, and assuming you put in more than an hour and 5 minutes to work like I did in this. And of course, the map was kind of meh. And of course, weapons are basically for weapons, but if you put a little bit more work into making better weapons and a better UI, just pressing things up and improving the overall quality of the game, you make a pretty good game with this. Now, I know you're thinking, why didn't you just make this open source game to me? But because I want you guys to learn how to do this for yourself. Because what happens if there's a framework you want to make, a game you want to make, but there isn't a framework for it already. So go to this video to help you learn how to make your own frameworks and game modes so you can make your own in the future. It isn't one already made for you. And actually, this is the original framework that we created right now. There is no other gun game framework similar to this. The actual built-in gun game framework in Core is a bit different. It actually has a set. It doesn't allow you to pick random weapons. And yes, it's more polished and touched up as better UI, but within, if you have 5 minutes or so, you could easily make much more touched up UI or that sort of stuff. Considering all the skills you just learn about UI and all that kind of stuff. And I wish you all a good day, and thank you for watching. One last thing is, if you haven't already, consider checking out my Twitter at twitter.com, and as you can see here, I post cool stuff. I post my Tycoon kit I'm working on, the current active project. It's gonna be open source. Tycoon kit. I already have a Tycoon kit. This is version 2. It's gonna be the most advanced community content yet. As you see, that's my main thing I've been working on recently. But I've had other things such as my fire spreading system here, which I actually will be releasing onto community content soon. So if you follow here, you'll be informed of when I release my fire spreading script, which spreads fire. I will probably be releasing it as soon as this student exam is over. As once it's over, then I can release it. And see it. Damn it! It spreads all at one time. I have stuff like my skateboarding physics. This is my shop system. This posted kinds of cool stuff on here. Sometimes when I make new tutorials, post on here. Retweet stuff, and like my vehicle physics is on here too. It's just everything's on here, so consider following. That would be nice. Thanks. Have a good day.